If you've played Darkness Falls into the end game, then you know and you understand that the Succubus in Darkness Falls is absolutely your arch enemy, your nemesis, your rival, your biggest pain in the ass. And if I'm being honest, there's no real good way to fight them. They are absolute bullet sponges. Plus, they hit like trucks. However, after much testing, the best way that I have found to kill a Succubus is with a junk turret. Not just a junk turret. 3 junk turrets, fully modded. When you properly set up a junk turret, it is extremely overpowered. Let me show you. When you go into the mechanic class, you get Robotics Inventor. And when you max out Robotics Inventor, reload robot weapons 20% faster and reload an extra 50 rounds. That's important. Active range is now 18 meters and you can now have 3 active robots at the same time. The mods I have on here are the Blessed Metal mod, which allows me to do more damage, the Advanced Magazine Extender, and the Drum mod stacked together so I can hold 300 plus bullets, Lucifer's Essence, which is super overpowered and gives me a 100% damage output, and the way you get that is to do the final quest, Dance with the Devil. So that's how you get that. If you don't have any mods at all, you need to have the laser battery. The laser battery is super expensive for a good reason. It disables demonic regeneration for your archery weapon, your melee weapon, or your junk turret. So you have to have the laser battery. It's the only one on this list that is mandatory. Other than that, you could use the nickel cadmium battery mod for electrocution. And in Darkness Falls, you can use titanium darts in your junk turret. And it's pretty inexpensive, if I'm being honest. It's titanium and clay, that's all. One of the biggest problems with the Succubus is in this base where I do actually want to fight the Succubus, not cheese them. I could easily make this roof 12 layers thick and they would never get to me, and then I could just deal with them at the end of the Horde, no problem. So what I've done here is I have made a very long hallway, and that is my fighting position. I typically stand at the very, very back of it. And above me, I have created a large cage. Now, the Succubus do fly in here, but the problem is that the Succubus fly back out of here as well after they get shot. Let's make a Succubus trap, shall we? I have tried this with hatches, I have tried this with doors, I've tried this with double doors, and the greatest and cleanest success that I've had is using the powered garage door, which is made out of steel, and it has 20,000 HP. I don't actually want to lay this flat. I want to stick it to this wall right here if I can. Beautiful. And then, of course, cover up any holes that you have. Upgrade it all to titanium, of course, because Succubus hit super, super hard. Now that your doors are installed, you need a way to close them. Now, I tried this the opposite way. I tried putting a motion sensor up here on the roof, and when they showed up, have the door open. But they just like constantly triggered it. I found that actually keeping it wide open and letting them fly in and then shutting the door on them was actually easier. So how I accomplished that is we'll put a motion sensor here. We'll go ahead and get that wired up to here. I've got the little relay there. So I'm gonna wire this to a trigger plate, and the reason is that I need to be able to manually trigger the doors to open and close sometimes. So from the trigger plate, then I'll go to one door to the next door. When I step on this trigger plate, it'll trigger the doors to close, and there's a good reason for that. Next, I'm sure you can see the problem. It'll do this with the Succubus as well, so it'll open, close, open, close, open, close. So to combat that, we're gonna make the power delay instant. The second the Succubus flies in, it triggers the power that closes the door, and it stays closed for 15 seconds. So I triggered it, and it is now closed, and it's gonna remain closed for 15 seconds. But the problem with that is that sometimes you get multiple Succubus. So she's flown in, and she's now stuck here, and she's dead already. And this other Succubus is left up here beating on the door. Well, I go trigger it, and now I'm letting her in. I've went ahead and I've added a bunch of turrets. I mean, if you want to take this route, you absolutely can. The idea is that the roof is wide open, Succubus flies in, camera sees Succubus, door closes, Succubus is stuck, and there are multiple turrets and also my junk turrets. Cool thing is, I can be down here, and I can place my junk turrets through the scaffolding ladder bars that I used here. We'll go day 70, 2200. It does also work for birds. Okay, so we are waiting for Succubus here, but I want to show you kind of what this looks like. My fighting position is under where the Succubus trap is. I can't stress it enough. And I've learned really quickly that keeping your distance from like mutated demos is like imperative. You have to do it. Mutated demos especially. So my fighting position is way back here, and I use these pulse bolts and the crossbow autoloader. Anyway, that's this base. What about the Succubus? Isn't it funny that you don't see Succubus when you want Succubus? When you're trying to do a video on how to fight Succubus, you don't get them. Ain't that some shit? Beautiful. Sometimes they do damage the door. They repair with steel. My best suggestion, obviously, is to have a separate way to get up to these so you can repair them from safety. That one in the back, I can't get to without putting myself in harm's way. Late game, Darkness Falls Hordes. These guys here are less of a problem than the Succubus are up there. So let me go ahead and spawn a bunch of Succubus. And we'll go down in here. We'll see what it looks like from a fighting perspective. So some of them flew in, but not all of them. So there's some of them still up there beating on the door, and that is what this is for. So I can step on it and trigger it again, and then it stays closed for 15 seconds no matter what. So if I see one up there, I can come over, trigger it, let her in, and then a door closes behind her. Just keep in mind, if I come up here to repair and there's Succubus in the house, they'll be right above me. Same for the birds. You want to be back here. And you can see her up there. Just let her in. And she's in. I dare say that for the most part, that was pretty simple. I do have my zombies set to 24. Any more than that, and I start to get a lot of lag, and I just can't even aim. Base held up fine. Everything's titanium, you know, minimal damage. The doors took a lot of damage, of course. A couple of these turrets took a little bit of damage, tiny bit. It's not terrible. I think this could be improved on in a very, very big way. For instance, what I might do is possibly consider breaking this out and giving myself some sort of access to the second door. So filling this in would only work if I planned to stand up here, which I don't plan to stand up here because if I shoot a pulse bolt from here, it hurts me. So that's why I stand way back here. As a matter of fact, it might even be wise to put a block and make sure that this is my standing point. It might be even more wise to put my trigger plate right here next to me instead of up there. So yeah, that's a thing. There's plenty of room for improvement, but this absolutely does work. The point is that junk turrets are the way. Even still, with the junk turrets as overpowered and strong as they are, your Succubus is going to be the problem. So anyway, that's it. That's my Succubus trap. It is a work in progress. It needs more testing, but the general mechanics absolutely work. Let's see what everybody else can come up with. I've recently started growing into live streaming a little bit more, so you can catch me live streaming on multiple platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and possibly more to come, maybe Facebook in the future. All the buttons, all the things, all the likes, all the subscribes. Definitely leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about this. Maybe I missed something. Maybe you have some better insights or some different insights. Cheers, have a good day, and I will see you in the next video.